And we are live! Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the hell you are in the world, and welcome to Scitrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. How are we, my hard-rocking amigos?
Doing well.
Doing quite well.
Doing good.
Very well. Sarah's in with us, Kahar's in with us. It's morning where Sarah is. Harris is with us.
Howdy.
Red is with us. How are we, everybody in the chat as well? Right. So, you put the Christmas hat on again, Matt. There will be questions.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas time.
Yeah, it is. We were just talking about
Matt wins.
Christmas.
Harris wins, sorry.
The more hats, the merrier.
Bob, how you doing? Cyphers.
I got given this hat as a birthday present for streaming when I played RuneScape, and now I don't stream RuneScape, so I'm going to wear it here.
Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Right, today we are doing a little bit of a what if video, I suppose, or a fantasy Stargate video, and we're going to have a chat about what we think, sort of, I suppose, the political situation of the galaxy is. Is that a fair way of saying it?
Yeah.
Today in Stargate. So we've got a few points we're going to go through, and we're really thinking about the villains and the allies and the good guys and the bad guys, sort of thing. So guys, get into the comments as well and tell us what you think as we're going along. But we are going to start by talking about the gold. And I've just said, what about the gold? But whatever that means to you. So first of all, just basically opening thoughts before we get into it. Anything?
Well, I mean, I guess for me, the gold, I'm just wondering how many more, I don't know, species of gold is floating around out there that we never really found, or if there's, the gold, pick somebody else other than humans, to try to grasp power. I mean, is there another race out there that we haven't stumbled across where the gold are thriving but kind of hiding?
I see what I mean. Like how they wanted to jump into the back of what were those things that the Nox had that they were the gold were trying to capture it there because they were invisible.
Yeah.
Oh yes, those things. Or are they some like sort of in-dimensional beings, or are they some sort of mirror universe, where they're growing their power before they come back and just come back to the Milky Way for
You just have that with you all the time.
I think it's the same thing.
I'm doing a mirror universe. I'm trying to do a mirror universe video tomorrow where I basically interview myself, so it's there already. See how that goes.
I always like the idea. So jumping on the back of what Storby's just said, we had the Uranus, we had the humans. Anubis kind of already tried to do this by genetically engineering one, but what if the gold got into an ancient?
Yeah, it would have to be in a physical form.
So would it be like an Alteran?
Yeah, but there are physical, like in my head, there are still physical ancients about, because some of them wouldn't have ascended.
Not an ascended being, an ancient.
Yeah. Not necessarily the ancients that we know, like that group, because obviously there's going to be offshoots. Like we already had the Ori offshoot, but there must be other ancient communities or descendants of the ancients with physiology that's very similar to the ancients before they ascended, and maybe they just don't want to ascend, so they haven't. What if a Goa'uld got into them?
What if the Goa'uld rocked up to? I mean, we're going to talk about the Ashen later. We're going to talk about oh crap! I forgot the name of the race that were really advanced, but then Nubis battered them. The Tolan. What if they got into the Tolan or something like that? I mean, take over a very advanced race, and the Goa'uld got into sort of that, because at the end of that, where we know the Goa'uld are from when SG-1 ended, we know there's a bunch of them on Earth. Elon Musk, maybe, would explain a few things. We know the system lords are gone, and we know they're hiding all over the place. So, Harris, I mean, is it fair to say they're going to be desperately trying to
Reconsolidate power?
Reconsolidate power, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could be doing that in a slew of different ways. My brain was going in a dozen different places. Mr. ADD, surprise. I'll hop right back on that idea, but this isn't part of it at all. But there's time travel in Stargate.
Yep.
What is keeping the Goa'uld from using time travel and going back and actually putting themselves inside of any ancients way back when?
I suppose so.
I don't know. I mean, that's just a good way, I think, for them to be doing something extra creepy or
Kind of like it's kind of like some sort of doomsday scenario. If all this goes wrong, we'll still have the backup plan of the ancient hiding someplace.
Almost like He Who Remains in Loki, but Goa'uld version. You know, that was just a thought out of nowhere. But I think they would be reconsolidating their power. They'd be trying to put themselves in the Aishin, the Tolan. I mean, the Tok'ra might be trying to take out the Goa'uld in their own way. So I don't know exactly how they would play into what the Goa'uld themselves specifically are doing, but they would have to play in somewhere.
There's not many Tok'ra left, is there?
Not a whole bunch,
No,
but with
their numbers were dwindling by the end of it.
Power vacuum.
I was thinking about this because we said we got to ask sort of where's the Tok'ra now? Would they be our friends, or was it just because they were a friend of our, the friend of your friend is now the enemy of your enemy is your friend? Mm-hmm. So would they still be now that the enemy is pretty much gone? Because we didn't have a very good relationship, did we? But actually, their numbers are dwindling.
And if we continue to strengthen our relationship with the Jaffa, the Tok'ra wouldn't like that either. So kind of lose that enemy of your enemy kind of thing.
And no one's happy in the galaxy. We got rid of the Goa'uld, so to speak, and it's just that vacuum just always gets filled with somebody else.
Well, we'll talk about the Lucian Alliance in a bit because that's a big thing of that.
I think for 100% that the Goa'uld, at least some sort of offshoot, is planning a return. Because looking at the history of the Goa'uld, I'm writing a video at the moment on a particular Goa'uld, and I'm doing a little bit of research on it, and it's quite interesting. So the videos are going to be about Anubis, but before the events of SG-1, Anubis was essentially like just, what's a good comparison? That guy in Sokar's lair, he's a Goa'uld, he's got one eye. He was basically one of them, but this Goa'uld called a Pep, or Apep, whatever you want to call it. And he eventually killed Apep, blah, blah, blah. And then Ra came along and started a war, which lasted for 300 years. Mm-hmm. And then banished Anubis.
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of things, everything that's happened between when the Tauri first went through the gate and then defeated all the system lords was only in the span of 13 years. But that battle, the original battle with Anubis, was 300 years of civil war. They're not impatient.
No.
That's very true.
So they will definitely regroup, and they will definitely try to recoup their power.
Since the Tok'ra and the Goa'uld have just diminished numbers generally right now, do you think that they would, and it's far-fetched, but would they possibly put their differences aside to reconsolidate power in the galaxy? Maybe. I don't know. I can't really see them working together, but also if they're both pissed off at everybody else enough, maybe.
Enemy and my enemy.
The Goa'uld numbers, I don't think, are as diminished as the Tok'ra. The only reason the Tok'ra numbers are as diminished as they are is because the original queen that spawned all of the Tok'ra with the genetic memory and the predisposition to basically not be a dickhead, she's dead.
Algira, was that
the other Goa'uld queens?
Yeah,
they still exist. At least some of them.
We saw in episodes lakes full of symbiotes jumping out of the water, wasn't it?
And that's on the Unis
planet, exactly. On the Unis home planet, where they naturally are born. There's going to be hundreds, thousands, millions of them in there.
Or think about, if you reboot the franchise with the gold, like, you do it, but you treat it like Flipper. No? It's just they're scuba diving down or it's all little. No? Okay, fine.
I wouldn't scuba dive in that lake.
But you got the snorkel on.
What's the movie?
Scuba diving, you'd be all right. Yeah.
The big ass teeth. What are they? And they. I'm doing well against A, and I. They strip, strip meat off bones in seconds in the
Piranhas.
Piranhas.
Oh yeah.
It'd be like that. They're in the water.
Like 4 times.
Sorry, man. I was
trying to think of all kinds of aliens.
My brain generally tries to tune you out, Matt. Best it can. If while we're chatting.
Your default is shut up, Matt, isn't it?
Where's the button?
Where's the button, Matt? Where's the button?
I'm kidding.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Not quite seamless, not quite seamless, but yeah. I think when Stargate comes back, it's logical that the gold are going to be in it in some way. How much though? Do you think it's a good idea to sort of bring them back because they're the original antagonists? It's a good way to start a new series, rather because I always think any new series has got to start off pretty low. It's got to have somewhere to go, if you know what I mean. It can't just start off up here. It's got to build up to something. So is it a good idea to start with gold because they're a good grounded villain that we know about, and actually it's logical that they're still about, and like you said, Matt, they desperately want their power back.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, the amount of time between when Stargate Universe ended and now is basically as long as when the Tauri first entered the Stargate to when they defeat the System Lords. So they've had enough time to recoup. They could easily be a coalition of new System Lords that have just been hiding in the shadows. Maybe they're in a different galaxy. Maybe they just went somewhere else to recoup, and that's why no one's known about them for the last 13 years. And then they come
out in Andromeda.
Yeah, then they come to exact revenge upon those pesky Tauri.
I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you pesky Tauri. Ralph, I've explained this to you before, and I'm not explaining it to you again. This is the last time. System Lords. The System Lords are gone. Not all of the Goa'uld. There are Goa'uld on Earth. The System Lords are gone. I'm not saying it again.
Not to mention the entire Unis's homeworld that is also the Goa'uld homeworld that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, exactly. So
I was always surprised that we never saw more Unis Goa'uld because that was their chosen host for so long. Yes, humans were easier to repair, but surely we'd see a couple just like sitting around. There was that one in Thor's hammer, obviously, but.
Well, I'm still convinced that they're gonna. If the Unises are progressing as a species, whether they're 20 years along or with a little bit of help from everybody else in the galaxy or not, they're not gonna be like that advanced. If they're biding their time and want to play the long game, the Unis are the perfect place to do that. Just pop in an Unis or two and keep going.
Plot twist: Chaka was a Goa'uld the entire time.
Rush is a Goa'uld.
I've had that.
That would explain a lot, wouldn't it?
That would
I've
explain
had
a
that
lot.
theory for a while that he's a Goa'uld. I think he is. He's got the tendencies, and he is a.
He could totally be a Tok'ra, someone that's like kind of good, but like just pissy all the time. You know, he kind of fits that mold already.
Yeah. Well, the arrogance, check. Intelligence, check.
The only thing that blows that theory out of the water is the fact that Sam Carter has met Rush and hasn't detected Naquadah in his blood.
Oh, you and your logic. Damn it.
That's the only thing that makes it.
Damn it.
Maybe they figured out for it. Like, if the Goa'uld are trying to hide, right, they are going to and remembering they're quite bright, they will have to think of ways to hide. So maybe one of the things they would do is sort of like an anti-Naquadah jab, like we have a COVID jab. You just like think, and it makes your arm go funny for a couple of days, but then you're all right.
They have to sit down for 10 minutes and be monitored.
Yeah, you have to sit down, and then nobody watches you, so you have to sit down. I'm sitting down. I'll be here for 10 minutes. Then as soon as they turn around, you just get up and walk out. That's what I did 3 times. I got a nice invite asking me if I'd like to have another shot this year, and I've respectfully said, "Nah, I'm all right. So, I'll be fine." I've had it like 9 times now, and I'm always fine. So I just stopped testing. That's the way to get past COVID. Stop testing yourself when you get poorly. That's a health minister from the UK. There's a health disclaimer. Do not listen to me. But anyway, yeah. So do we agree then? Gold will probably be in the new series because it's logical, and it is probably a good place to start. And then it gives them something to build up from. And then the gold are there. They're going to be there or thereabouts somewhere.
You mentioned a great place to start. I've got a really good idea about, if Stargate picks back up where they kind of left off with SG-1, I've got the perfect opening scene. It starts back up with Daniel Jackson giving his the Old Kingdom in the Fourth Dynasty lecture, but it's updated for Stargate since, if it's become public knowledge. Then he can give his lecture without all of the booing and the hissing and all of the condensation that he got the first time around. And it'd be good because of all the characters, that boy needs some vindication. It's just, and it'd be nice if Bill Nye could be in the front damn row. You know what I mean? If they just, and maybe Neil deGrasse Tyson. And then the same thing.
Mirror the opening scene of the movie. The first time we see
Yeah. But it's now
instead of being laughed at.
Now there's disclosure, right? And then it's like, oh yeah, that's what you've been doing for the last 20 years. Yeah, okay.
Oh, you're not a moron.
That's actually brilliant. That is brilliant.
Yeah, I do have some powerful shower thoughts.
Best place to have them.
Yeah.
But you're watching the episode of I guess is a Stargate Atlantis when Rodney was back on Earth and there was the mad scientist had stolen his work or whatever, and they got the bridge. It was the bridge technology that had went awry.
Bridge.
And had Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye in the episode. I thought, they could do the same thing. What are those two going to say when Rodney's papers all come out and it was, he was right. And well, what about Daniel Jackson? I mean, if anybody needs to be vindicated, it should be Daniel Jackson because he has, just been bullied in the archaeology community all this time. And I thought that would be an awesome way to open the next series is mimic the first opening.
Taking questions from the audience and someone will go, Dr. Jackson, what was it like to die 3 times? Actually, I died 4 times.
I want that guy from Ancient Aliens to be sat in the front going,
that'd be great.
Who told you? I'm not saying it was aliens, but actually, he is. He's saying it was aliens. Papalopoulos or whatever his name was. I want him in the front with the big hair. And
giant
hair. That would be awesome. But yeah, no, that's how they should open the first series.
So since Brad, go tell Brad.
Yeah, no, me and him are like that now.
Yeah. I'll take a writing credit.
Right, next on my
He follows me on Twitter now. Maybe I should.
Really?
You can go and tell him then. I'm being careful because I went through a phase that I was messaging him a lot. And I was just like, I've
messaged him once. I've messaged him once, and I'm not doing it again. I want him to continue following me.
Yeah, I don't want to annoy him. Right. So the next one. What are going to be the biggest threats in the galaxy? And my first thought when I thought about this question was probably us. It's probably the Tauri. Generally speaking, on Earth anyway, if we use the Earth as an example, everywhere we go, we destroy everything we can, and we take over everything, and we exploit it. But if it's not us, or what are the biggest threats to us in the galaxy today? And I want to throw out there for one, the Ashen. Just as a starter for 6 or whatever the saying is. What do you guys think?
They're the most patient race we ever saw in Stargate. they are going to be pissed that the first gate address that we gave them was a black hole. That would have killed quite a few of them, I reckon. They would have devoted a lot of resources to close that gate. They would have probably their power at that time would have been, well, it was greatly diminished, but they're very patient, so they would have slowly been building up and up and up. I could see them coming back.
Oh,
It was just that boring guy. His name was Boring, wasn't it?
Yeah, his name was Boring.
His name was Boring, yeah.
There was always plans for a third episode that they never got round to. Brad said that there were plans with him, Joyce and Lucy, for a third episode that they just never got round to. So there is a trilogy there, potentially. How about you? What do you guys think? Shen? Someone else?
I think at some point, you have to address this Shen. We didn't spend, there wasn't any episodes on, their absolute destruction.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Shen probably had a better time of it in the end than the Janai,
Yeah.
Well, the Janai are still kicking.
Yeah, but I think the Shen would be more kickier.
Oh yeah. They're closer to home.
Yeah. In terms, we don't doubt that the Janai is still around, even though they had some issues. I think the Shen had less issues, so I think they would still be, out and about doing their Shen thing.
Well, the Janai, I think, would have had plenty of opportunity to recoup and rise to power in the interim, because if Atlantis is now on Earth, and let's assume it stayed there, Pegasus is now unmanned. They're only like 60 years behind us, or they were when we first met them. Like culturally, they're only 60 years behind. I could see them like easily recouping and like just exploring Pegasus a bit more, getting a little bit like of better technology, and maybe they've even surpassed what we were. So that instead of being 60 years behind, maybe they're now like 20 years ahead. And we've got the advantages, we've got the Asgard core, but where we were at the beginning, kind of thing.
Well, they could even lean into sci-fi and use maybe they're doing a different type of technology. Maybe they're not doing the things that we did. Maybe they're figuring out a different way of doing it, like the Lanteans did back in the day, or so on and so forth. Any of these other species lean into the sci-fi, have a little more advanced.
So, like the Lanteans had a nice steampunk feel, and then they went, actually, crystals. We love crystals.
Something, yeah.
There were a few species that we only saw once, like the beetle, the transforming beetle-faced dudes or whatever they were.
Ritu, is that different?
The Ritu, maybe the Ritu have reappeared now as well. But no, those things they were brown and they were shape shifting. From
the
episode sort of thing.
So one of the perceivable threats, I think, would be it'd be I guess more political, but it would end up not being political, obviously, because it might start a galactic civil war kind of thing. But would the Nox consider us the fifth race? Would they agree with what the Asgard did by literally kind of essentially making us the fifth race? Would the Nox say, no, these were children like we told them they were a couple weeks ago, maybe a year or two ago? They're not ready for this, and they're going to destroy our galaxy. Would they possibly, I know they're a peaceful group, but would they maybe change their tune a little bit to keep peace in the galaxy?
That's an interesting thought, because the Nox have no proof that the Asgard said it. Like, they literally said, you are the fifth race, and then 5 minutes later killed themselves. So, for all intents and purposes, the only surviving members of the
might
races
look
is
to
the
the Nox like we took them out.
We didn't agree to that. So,
well, we said there's a villain for the new series would maybe be like a Thanos type villain that doesn't think it's doing wrong. Maybe it's the Nox. We said evil Ewoks, obviously. Furlings is our favorite, but maybe it's the Nox. Maybe the Nox are just these children cannot have this. It's like a 5-year-old running around with a shotgun.
But they're doing it under the guise of pacifism, the guise of we're just bringing peace back to the galaxy.
We're
just taking out people.
Okay, so I don't know. It's the Nox, like you were saying, Harris is hyper pacifist. they didn't do jack shit about the Goa'uld. The Goa'uld were just absolutely evil. So if they could stand around and, it's just the Goa'uld taking over the galaxy and enslaving billions of people, then I don't think they'd have any trouble with, us running around the world trying to do the world.
I get that, but if it looks like we just took out the Goa'uld, and if the Nox don't know that we were given all that technology by the Asgard, it almost looks like we took it and stole it and took them out as a species as well. So they might be coming into it with a different thought process.
It might not be, though, that they are then violent towards us or start a war with us. They might just be doing something that, like, removes our technology. So
they can do all kinds of different things.
They don't hurt us, but they put us back in our pen. Sort of thing.
They'll be trying to pacify us.
To be honest, if they're going to start a new series, they need to severely limit the power that the Tauri have, because otherwise we're not a threat. There's no threat big enough. In my eyes, we were so powerful by the end of SG1 that anything that comes our way, they could basically just swap them away like flies at this point.
Well, we've got weapons that can.
There needs to be something that severely limits our capabilities.
That's why my example for the Lucian Alliance aren't a threat, because they've only got Goa'uld ships, and the Asgard beam energy weapons can cut through those shields like butter. They're not a threat. The Lucian Alliance can have 100 warships, and we can have 1 304, and we can pretty much just going to take you out one at a time, pretty much.
So what if the Lucian Alliance teams up with the Asian, maybe the Tolan, whoever. They start their own little alliance.
Ooh,
what if they
get an alliance against the Tauri?
But what if they get a hold of the Veneer, and the Veneer didn't necessarily love us? So what if the Veneer join them and they get Asgard level power to a degree? Maybe not the same type of Asgard power that we have, but pretty damn close.
Oh yeah, I mean, what? Yeah, it seems like in Harris's scenario, the Tauri become the threat.
What if the Nox are still doing their thing, making us pacifying us, the Tauri, and then the Alliance is going on and doing their thing, and they end up being way ahead of us technologically, and we're like screwed? I don't know. I'm just thinking.
No, I think that's a more like, again, we think about logic, aren't we? Logical. Tauri have turned up. Would the rest of the galaxy just automatically trust us? We've turned up, and all of a sudden we've got starships, we've got Asgard beam technology. They don't. A lot of the people aren't going to know us from shit.
Every single world we have showed up on, whether for right, wrong, or indifferent, we have completely turned upside down. So
that's the truth. Oh my lord!
Why are we always a threat? History. Because we always are.
I mean, you could look at it like. In America, for example, they have an election every 4 years, so they would have gone through like 4 different presidents by now.
Yeah, that's true.
Their political climate might be drastically different to what it was back in the heyday of the SGC. Maybe the SGC is no longer operating because it was deemed too expensive. Maybe everything's been put into storage. Maybe the people in power have just decided, actually, we're not going to go in and just get technology to make Earth better. We're going to go in and try and subjugate other people. We're going to, we're going to be the oppressors now. The human race already has a history with slavery. Like, it's not that far out, like that far out the realms of possibility.
Hold that thought, though, because we're going to talk about the Earth politics in a minute, aren't we? Shut up! And we're going to talk about the Earth politics in a minute, so we'll come back to that because it's a good point.
I mean, like you said, we actually have religions built around slavery.
Yeah, coming back to it. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
So
okay.
Let me
I'll make note
in a way that makes sense at some point.
Oh, sure.
But what about?
Shut up, Ferris. Everybody, shut up. No, just say what you like. Anyway, I like that though. The Lucian Alliance found the furling tech because the Lucian Alliance have shown themselves to be like the cuckoos of the galaxy. They just absorb technology. Apparently, are the Lucian
Alliance? It's just a coalition of criminals, isn't it? So they're just going to steal whatever they can to get the power.
Does it make sense that they're the biggest threat to us? They were at the end of or the start of SGU. We're talking about
I'd say they'd be a contender, a massive contender for being.
I was going to be a contender, baby. They've got numbers.
Yeah.
Got the numbers.
And if they're making alliances.
Yeah.
And they've got power through intimidation and fear as well, much like the Goa'uld did. They're not subjugating people with like glowing eyes, but they've got like manpower and guns because they're criminals. It's like the mafia essentially, whereas the Goa'uld were more. I don't know. The Goa'uld were not.
Be like,
the Goa'uld were more like Genghis Khan, and these are like the mafia.
Yeah.
The Lucian Alliance are the space huts. They're the huts from Star Wars, essentially. Just a little less bad to look at.
Less slimy.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is the Lucian Alliance as well. They're going to rock up and they're basically all these cities and all these humans that are spread all over the universe, and they're going to basically turn up and go, do you want resources? Do you want this? Do you want that? And then it's only later they go, right now, here's the price, because it's exactly what the mafia did. I mean, really, in a similar sort of way, they prop up the leaders with money and gifts and technology, and then there's a price afterwards. I
mean, as we're talking about what ifs and stuff, what if the Lucian Alliance were to plead their case to the Tok'ra and get the remaining Tok'ra on their side, kind of deal, and kind of have them propped up from there?
I just think that it's a very sensible idea to consider that a lot of species out there would consider Ta'ri the new threat.
Mm-hmm.
That there would be an alliance against us, and that could be the new threat. But is it a bit boring?
It's not like it hasn't been done before, but I guess it'd be the difference with this is we would be convincing everybody, hey, we're the good guys. We're like trying to fight back and protect ourselves, but we are the good guys. We're not like trying to screw everybody over, even though we tend to one way or another.
History does sort of suggest.
So it's not like we're trying to be the evil empire this time around, like we typically are, or any sci-fi kind of thing where it's like an empire and Foundation or Star Wars, whatever, like it's always that one kind of mass group trying to take over as much as possible. That's not what we're doing. We're just open up all of
O'Neill and Hammond in that one episode when O'Neill wants to some of us been captured or something. O'Neill wants to go back in with the armed forces basically and force them to do what, and Hammond saying, going, we don't do that. And O'Neill saying, since when? Since when do we try to force our ideals on others? When did that happen? And it is true.
Yeah,
we do. So, best intentions. What's they say about the path?
The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah, we could go out there with loads and loads of really good intentions and screw everyone up. So we probably
sometimes it's best to just keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, we don't do that very well.
No.
Who are the most likely, or what are the most likely allies? And I'm gonna I'll throw out the first one. The Jaffa Nation. Is that probably maybe?
I feel like they're either our biggest ally or our biggest threat.
I feel like they're the Klingons to me. They could so easily become the biggest threat because they're war, aren't they? Isn't their whole thing like fighting?
It's all they've known for the last millennia. How long have they been enslaved by the Goa'uld?
What you've got to remember about the Free Jafar is they are now reliant on Tritonin, and they're only getting that from us.
That's a good point too.
So I don't see them ever breaking that pact. There will be different sects of little coups Jafar every now and then, I think, but wholly, they will be our allies.
What if they become the new system lords? What if there's some sort of crazy Jaffa sect that has some sort of secret, gold queen hidden in some dark basement on some dark planet, and all of a sudden, hey, we're really going to screw shit up. Let's go put things in our heads. And then all of a sudden, there's Jaffa 2.0 running around as the System Lords. Then the Free Jaffa going like, well, how did we let this happen? Maybe we should talk to the Ta'ri.
Well, there's already political turmoil within the Jaffa Nation. So what if, not everybody was on board with Tritonin anyway. So what if there's a subsect of Jaffa that are like, we're never putting that weird blue drug in our body, and we're not shortening our lifespans and our ability to do the things that we're able to do. What if we're not going to be go old, of course, but let's keep them inside of us. And if we do that, it allows us to be the most ageless species in the galaxy and allows us to be kind of like the head honchos, the wiser group of the folk, you know?
If we're talking about logic, though, as well, do we really think the Jaffa are going to allow us to control them with Tritonin after generations being controlled by the Goa'uld? I would have thought something would have happened between now and then, say that we want to be able to manufacture our own Tritonin, or maybe that's what causes up a bit of tension between the two nations. They're not going to like it, are they? If we're the only ones that can produce it, they're not going to like it.
I mean, there's got to be Jaffa infighting too.
I think at some point in time, once the Jaffa, are allowed, and the free Jaffa are allowed to pursue education and technology and engineering, I'm sure they will come up with something on their own, just so that they're not dependent on us. Because it's just not, the relationship between the Jaffa and us for their Tritonin or whatever. It's like, humans have a big target on their back from everybody else. And maybe they are wanting to come up with a solution for them in case things go bad for the Tar-8. You know what I mean? And, there's a lot of anger coming our way from everybody else. And maybe the Jaffa really want to be independent. And to be truly independent, they got to get away from Earth-made Tritonin.
Yeah. We've spanked a lot of bottoms in the galaxy. There's a lot of people with sore bottoms are going to be very angry.
Yeah.
It does seem that on a weekly basis, everywhere SG-1 went, somebody got into trouble. And it was like every night on a Thursday night for like 10 years. That happened. It's crazy. Is it the Jaffa that are the most likely, though, to be our allies, or are there other, or would we say the Nox? Maybe if they take us under the wing, our version of the Vulcans from like Star Trek.
The
Nox,
maybe I think are too isolationist to become our true allies. Just because every interaction we've ever had with them, they've basically just been dismissive of the Tauri. They're just like, you're too young. We don't care. We're going to go sit in the tree.
Yeah.
Like,
with our Wurzel.
Jafar, if you think about it, not literally owe us. Like, they're not in our debt or anything like that, because we didn't do it for that. But they owe a lot of all of their freedom essentially to the Tauri. And their way of life now is a direct result of what the Tauri did. So I don't think only 13, 14 years later, they would have then turned around and said, actually, cheers for killing the Goa'uld that have been enslaving us for thousands of years. Cheers for giving us like political power and a seat on the galactic table, but now we don't want to be involved. I can't see that happening.
I could see it, to be fair. I could see that if all you need is a new leader to come in and to sort of go, we need to stand on our own 2 feet, and like not necessarily become like an enemy, but to try and separate themselves from us.
Garrett tried doing that, and the Jafar basically said no. Like Garrett already tried it.
Well, yeah, I think they rely on us a lot anyway, because I mean their nation is still new, isn't it? There's still there's practical things and technology they would want from us and stuff, and so yeah, I think they're probably going to be our closest ally. And we've got people like Teal'c that would probably be very an influential leader there, who's obviously always going to be loyal to the Tauri.
I mean, if Braytak's not like prime minister or president or something of the Jaffa nation at this point, he should be.
Yeah, go check out Matt's last video. It was quality.
It's beautiful.
Didn't do it for Scitrek.
First chapter brought something up a minute ago. He said a Machiavellian Nox, like Moriarty maybe, would be great. I do like the Nox for being this pacifist kind of group of people, this entire culture of pacifism. But that's boring as hell. Like, they can't be just utopian all the time, and not every single Nox ever born would be, let's go hug trees and turn invisible and hide away from people. Like, there'd be a messed up Nox or two along the way. I don't think that's like, I don't think that would be disrespecting what we've seen already, and I don't think that would be taking away from the rest of the species as well. Evil Nox would be cool. Evil, a lot of these guys would be cool.
My argument with the Furlings, I like, you know, that one episode when the Goa'uld planted that, was it a suicide flower or something? I forget. But it was a Furlings. It was a Furling city, and it was like anyone was welcome, and but then the Goa'uld planted some plant that made everyone go nuts.
It was a seed that made everyone go crazy. Yeah.
So I mean, at some point, I can completely believe that the Furlings would have gone, you know what, fuck them, like, let's go crazy on these asses. They literally made us all go suicidal and tried to kill each other. I think that maybe we should sort these Goa'uld out. It's logical. It makes sense. I think it's possible. Go on, Stormy. You look like you've got a thought.
No, I was just reading the chat, and Ken Sutherland brought up Buddhist warriors, and it was like, you know, I mean, that does kind of remind me of the Jaffa. You know, with they did have this philosophy about them, and they were just really efficient killers. You know, so I don't know, I was pondering that.
It makes sense that actually when even a peaceful being or peaceful species, if they feel they're in the right, can become very dangerous.
It's like elves in the Lord of the Rings and stuff. It's like they're trying to be as great for the trees and the nature around them as possible. So when they go and kill somebody, they're going to do it as quickly and efficiently as possible and put them back into the nature, put them back into the world, let them decompose to help the trees grow and all that kind of stuff. They might be like good reasoning for it and do it in like as humanely and quickly and safely as a way.
I mean, once you get over Legolas's, blowing blonde hair, the elves in Lord of the Rings, the elves in Lord of the Rings were really dangerous. I mean, they were a warrior society. I mean, they had vast armies. They really had amazing battle skills. They were fighting a lot. I mean, but most people don't associate their violent nature to what you read in the books or whatever. But if you really look at what they were doing, man, don't piss off an elf.
What if the Pegasus Asgard came back? What if the Pegasus Asgard, came back to the Milky Way galaxy and went, Tauri, all of that, technology, it's ours by right. Okay, the Asgard are gone. We're Asgard. Give us our stuff back.
I think it'd make sense for them to come to the Milky Way eventually because they came from Ida. Pegasus is the next stop. And then the one after that is Milky Way.
Well, we had good replicators for a little bit,
We've seen good replicators.
And then they commented out their good code, and then they went to just.
Yeah. The replicator is the only villain I can think of that just shouldn't come back.
Delete.
Someone turned a 1 into a 0.
Yeah. What if the Goa'uld, had like. Harnessed replicator technology and built their own little, mechanical cocoons that they could crawl around the galaxy with. Instead of humans, they'd use replicator host.
Just before we move on to the next bit, then, would you prefer? I said about how maybe we start with the Goa'uld because then it gives us somewhere to build from, or would you actually prefer just something new? Just a sort of as a vote, yay or nay. Just do you want something new? I think
you can do new things with the Goa'uld. If you think of, so look at how the Goa'uld were when they were in power. It was all very disorganized. It was lots of infighting. It was a civil war. They had done that for thousands of years, and it ultimately led to their defeat because they're just idiots. They're going to learn from that mistake, and they're going to be a little bit more clever because they're not idiots. It's just that they didn't like sharing power, but maybe they'll get together and actually do something, and it'll be probably more like the Mafia.
I think Matt's onto something. You could probably have a whole spin-off, just alternative Goa'uld storylines. That does. I mean, what if there was a system lord that went to Andromeda or some other galaxy?
Mhm.
Started all over, and you could have a whole. I mean, there's no SGC. There's probably gates or something in there, but it could just be the Goa'ulds, warlike. I mean, it could be the Game of Thrones, but we're just Goa'ulds. The Game of Goa'ulds.
Yeah.
Goa'ulds of Thrones.
People quite like
Goa'uld.
it.
Yeah.
But I think, I like Matt's idea.
I think so. And then we can throw in new things, or we could throw in something where the Goa'uld end up allowing a new enemy to come in with something they're doing, or there's lots of it. I just think it's just because it's the old enemy, if it's logical and if it makes sense and they do something interesting with it, cool, and it gives them something to build up from. What's
As long as they're not system lords.
Okay,
it's different.
Bob's comments: Wheel of Snakes. Oh yeah, that would just the Wheel of Snakes. I love that. That'd just be awesome.
Oh, there he is. I couldn't find it. Bob does do the most random but brilliant comments. Thank you, Bob.
Wheel of Snakes.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's brilliant.
Burnings for the secret leaders of the system lords.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a bit of a soap opera twist, though, isn't it? At the end of the episode, really, we are the Furlings.
We are the Furlings, my friend.
End of episode.
And we're fighting to the end. We are the Furlings. Never mind.
We've got
You're not the Furlings. Oh, yes, I am.
We're going to do a Christmas edition episode tonight for the video. You want to sing it, Stormy? Because right,
Well,
the political situation on Earth. First of all, is the Stargate known? Is the secret out?
Well, real quick before we move past new people and stuff, do you think that now that the power vacuum is gone, that other like the Ritu were a species we only saw once, and they were trying to hide from everything because the Goa'uld were out? More space whales, the merrier. We need 3 different races of space whales just flying around doing their thing. But no. Like the Ritu, like these other kind of like these species that are maybe hiding from the Goa'uld. They understand that this giant evil threat's out there. They realize it's now gone. Would we have other species start to kind of pop out of the woodworks and introduce themselves to the Tauri, to the Jaffa Nation, to all these different people? And would that possibly bring new threats, new stability, new alliances, so on and so forth, kind of deal?
What if all makes sense? Sorry, it's because he's been so nice and given us, a combination. Would a Goa'uld we were talking about prequels potentially in this 5-year plan that MGM suggested, and we said maybe an Ancients prequel would be very cool. Would a Goa'uld prequel? Could a Goa'uld prequel work?
I think both of those would be really cool, but we shouldn't do either one because we've seen enough of their backstories already, and it would lean into over explanation, and it might screw up some story down the road.
Focusing on very particular events in the Goa'uld history, you could have a very good series like the Anubis storyline back before he was the System Lord. Like, I would like to see that fleshed out. I would like to see
the Anubis magnet that we talked about in other episodes where
there is no Anubis magnet, Jay.
The Anubis magnet. Because I could see that because what we were talking about was prequel series that then give us the add depth to whatever the overarching story is. So an Ancients that come back, but Goa'uld, they were the biggest bad guy in the universe in the galaxy for thousands of years.
You've got so many different system lords, like if you in canon that we haven't actually seen. So like APEP, but then you've got a load of them, right? See their rise to power, and then see like Anubis take over, and then see why Ra banished him.
I'd love to see a prequel Ra Anubis getting banished. I love the idea that it's how much of a dick do you have to be for the system lords to think you're too evil? You've got to be a massive.
Well, he then made the system lords think he was dead after that 300-year battle. So you could then, because we as an audience know he's not dead and he's going to come back, so we could see him planning and plotting and like going to Keb to like trick Omadisala, and like there's so much story there.
Yeah.
I know I said no at first, but maybe an origin story on the Unis home planet and just remake it and like, but just do 2001, but with a Gould and Unis on the Unis home world, and then finally leaving.
Yeah, we got him on the hook there, Matt. We got him. We reel him in. He said no, he poo-pooed the idea, but we got him. And no, I think it's a brilliant. Again, if it adds to, if it's done for a reason, there's a vast history. Stargate. I hate prequels. I hate them. But Stargate is begging for a couple, I think, because there's so many things that they touched on, but they never really explored in any way that could be awesome. I think
if they were to do all that, it'd be nice to see it done as meticulously and like well put together as Old Republic stuff for Star Wars was. Not like the High Republic is nowadays, but Old Republic. Mostly video games, so you probably wouldn't be familiar. But it's very it's almost more rich in lore, if not like way more rich in lore than what the modern Star Wars is, which is great.
Did they ever mention in SG-1 how many gate addresses were inactive? Because I'm wondering, there may have been a lot of civilizations that, did like Earth, buried their gate, but then over thousands of years, they rose in technology. They became spacefaring. And, there could be still out there. I mean, the universe is real. I mean, even the Milky Way is just vast, and the gate network didn't go everywhere. What if there's all these civilizations that, the gold's gone. Maybe it's safe for us to unbury our gate, or to see what else is out there. Maybe they could have been using their space travel to eavesdrop on what's really going on. A sophisticated band of spies.
Pretty quickly, if someone did unbury their gate, because Carter wrote that program, didn't she, to ping gates?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right.
And then there was an episode, I think someone's gate got unburied, and then they sent them out through, and then. I can't remember the episode name.
So it could be just
two factions, two countries, or whatever, and the Stargate was like a mythical thing, and in the country where they discovered it, they were like, it doesn't exist, and they killed each other. They were right, and we've been fighting for so long.
And so, later, they just nuked themselves.
I think that could definitely happen, yeah, but they'll know pretty quickly, unless they've turned that program off.
Me and Harris are having a little argument in the private chat because he's a stupid little boy. He's turned my perfectly good joke against me, bastard.
These things are fun.
We'll discuss that at the end. Right. So, political situation on Earth. Is the Stargate still a secret? First of all, is yes or no? Is the Stargate still a secret?
No.
Harris, for me. No. Harris.
No.
Yes.
I want to say yes as well, honestly.
I want to see Daniel Jackson in the cave. Yes. I really want to see that.
The reason I'm saying, I hope people know, based on the presidencies and like the political climate it was, but I can see the political climate shifting to a point where we are no longer necessarily in it for the good reasons. Like the orders come down from the top, and we're doing things that are a little bit different, a little bit more. I don't know what the word is, but we're not the benevolent guys we used to be. The people in charge who put that order, I don't think would ever want to reveal the
and who's in charge at this point.
It's probably lining their pockets. They've probably got deals with planets and stuff. They're making money from the Stargate program.
Yeah.
True. I'll tell you what. Change the question slightly. Is it more interesting for the TV show if it's still a secret?
I think it's more dramatic if it's not a secret, because some point in time someone in the IOA is going to open their mouth, and or somebody, or the Furlings will land on the south lawn of the White House, or across the street from Buckingham Palace or something. And how are you going to explain that?
I'm still. Do you think that maybe that can happen and then still not say, hey, we have this portal that can literally go just about anywhere in the universe just by dialing the right dial numbers? And they say, well, guess what? We've actually advanced more than you thought we have in the last 20 years. We have spaceships. And just say, hey, we're a spacefaring civilization now, and not so much we have a Stargate. Maybe kind of keep that bit out of it. Because if any planet were to accept that, it would be the Tauri,
Or you mean just talk about our spaceships and not the gate?
Yeah, just say, hey, we got spaceships. We're out in space now. Look what we've been testing for the last 15, 20 years. Howdy, Andrew.
Well, they could do that, and but they don't have to necessarily attribute it to the gate, because we've already have like the Roswell crash in the 60s, and we're, like, so many like crash sites like in real life that people already assume we're building spaceships from. They could just use those plausible deniability. Is that what it was?
Plausible
deniability. An event that was already in the public like psyche, they just attribute it to that.
So the one thing that I think that might there's a lot of things, but the one thing that's coming to mind at the moment that would be just a little bit of a caveat just for the question. Again, there's probably a half a dozen caveats for the question, but if we have Alpha Site A and Alpha Site B and all these different places, and we have 20, 30 years worth of human beings on these planets, there's a good chance a lot of them have kids now, and they're all on those planets. Are we a multi-planetary species just with Earthlings alone, not necessarily other? I mean, it's kind of like what we did originally, or what the Ghoul did with us originally, but we're doing it ourselves in a way.
I think once we
contact with those in a public way,
I think as soon as humans on their own opened Alpha Site A, first, I mean the Alpha Site, first one, then I think we are. We may, most of humanity may not know about it, but that's something we did on our own, not because we were, cattle to some other, alien species. We did it on our own.
Still that, but Arnold G just said other worlds ... hybrids ... in the chat.
Oh my God!
Like if we're on Mars for 100 years as a species, we develop chicken legs. We start looking a little different, So Expanse is a little bad in that. They should make it a little more accurate than that. But like, we would start changing our physiology would change in these different places. Could they add that thing, maybe?
There's a series of books that speaks with Arnold G's idea about hybrids. And what Harris was saying, it's called the Mars Trilogy: Red Mars, Blue Mars, and Green Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson. Excellent series, and he talks about the speciation of humans on different planets and how that changes. Brilliant.
Great books.
No, yeah, okay.
I like the idea of them having colonies where people live, but I don't know if they would have done that yet, because every single planet that we've got bases on is for science and research.
That's true too.
Or for military. They've never had, at least in canon, other than the Atlantis expedition where they did move out, essentially. They never had, let's colonize this planet, because there's never been a need to. We've got plenty of space on this planet. There's not been like a catastrophic event or like a catalyst for, hang on, maybe we should, colonize somewhere else just in case. Like, that's never come up.
The closest to a colony like that was Atlantis.
True.
Yeah.
Resources.
That's the only difference. But they didn't.
Yeah, that's the only exception I can think of.
Any set of colonies is going to be to mine.
But that was more of an expedition,
a quadria or something.
It wasn't necessarily a colony, because they planned on returning, so they didn't actually fully move out. They planned on returning at some point.
Yeah.
Whereas a colony never plans on returning.
No. And it will be for resources when we start. But what we would do probably is nicely subjugate. Like, you work for us now. You don't have a flag. Here's a flag. We now own you. And to mine Nokra and stuff like that. That's what we would do. And at the end of the day, we would do that. Because we've done it before. And we'll just give people pretty mirrors and things like that, and go, oh, look, reflection, and then dig all that Naquadah out for us now. But that makes us no better than the gold. You could argue.
Well, I like us, of course, being the protagonists and all that kind of stuff. Like, oh, happy Earthlings, we're might not be perfect, but we're trying to do good generally. But hell, maybe we have kind of changed our tune in the galaxy a bit. It might be more interesting to take us down that anti-hero or anti-villain kind of route, maybe. I don't know.
Do you have oil? We'll have a bit of that, please. Naquadah would be the new oil. So
yeah. If we just want like fossil fuels, I mean, Triton is full of methane, so and that's in our backyard.
We're talking about colonies and all that, and we got the 2 Brits up top and the 2 Americanos down here. What if we did a whole thing like we use Atlantis to maybe power up a bunch of stuff and yada yada, but we want to find a way to get back to Pegasus? It might cost too much energy. We don't have enough whatever to get back to Pegasus with Atlantis, or it would take a little time. Whatever.
It just what if we in the Daedalus?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like bringing a colony of people kind of there instead of like the way you would be able to like populate Atlantis, then bring Atlantis back. Instead of doing that, would we be able to maybe, if we were not so good anymore, we said, hey, y'all piss us off at a certain point. Those other people that had the other alternate Atlantis city, could we go take over that civilization?
You're basically saying we're going to have the Atlantis Tea Party.
Yeah. Hey, history repeats itself, right?
We're in a lake somewhere.
God, you guys are still butthurt about that?
Yes. You wasted tea. Do you know what?
Right.
I don't care about you becoming independent. You wasted tea. What are you going to do next? Spill a beer?
Yeah.
Be more careful. Is the whole moral of the Boston Tea Party is you lot need to be more careful.
Sometimes the very young do not always do as they're told.
Oh my Lord! Shot fired.
Hey, if the U.S. ends up being Earth in that situation, I think we've won at the end of the day.
Because we got plenty of tea.
The U.S. are in charge. We're all in trouble. So,
well, Stargate, not real life.
Yeah. But yeah.
Sorry, I just saw this.
Yeah, the Americans aren't going to get that. But
I'm guessing it has something to do about Tetley tea. Is that come from a commercial I may have seen?
Yeah, Tetley tea. Bunch of monkeys selling tea to people.
Tetley's. It's the worst tea ever. It's the worst tea ever.
Yeah, I don't like it. No,
it's probably the most Britishly known.
Yeah, I kind of think Bigelow is what I tend to drink.
So Tetley tea is y'all's Foster's beer.
Yeah, kind of. Yes. Carlin. We have Carlin beer, which is even more piss-like than Foster's.
I actually have 2 cans of Foster's in my fridge that I got from when I left my previous job like a year and a half ago. They gave me a crate.
You told us this months ago.
Knowing full well I don't like Foster's. I have told you this before. It's still in my fridge. And in a year's time, it will still be in my fridge.
Yeah.
Glorious.
Started selling. You get those those new machines that do like cold, and you can pour a pint of lager, and it chills it. But you get like the small kegs, right? The kegs cost like 30 quid, and you only get like 10 pints out of them. But Aldi, by me, has started selling kegs of beer Moretti. And Moretti is the nicest beer. Oh my god, it's nice. It's like a Belgian lager. It's beautiful. For like 9 quid. So I'm like, well, babe, I'm telling my wife, I've got to go and buy myself one of those beer pouring machines now, because it would be wrong not to, because I can get the keg from Aldi for 9 quid. Think about the money I'm saving by, getting my beer pouring machine. She hasn't gone for it, but I
Yeah,
she'll go for it. I'll just turn up with one. Look what I've got. Anyway,
just use the Scitrek money to buy it. You can't say no to that.
I use that excuse a lot. Why did you just buy that? Scitrek money. YouTube. Why I always say YouTube money. YouTube money.
Another surprise in your marriage.
not that much. You told me how much money you made last month, so stop talking shit. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what is Mayborn doing now, Laura?
Yeah, I was going to say. Laura just said in the chat, "What do you guys think Mayborn's doing now?" Mayborn, not Maybor.
What planet is he the king of?
Mayborn has gone to like some Hawaiian island. He's sitting there with a beer, and he's waiting for a phone call. He's just waiting for a phone call.
Oh, nah. We were talking about that Atlantean ship becoming a colony ship. We don't need a colony ship if we got Mayborn. You know damn well that dude just made his own colony on some planet somewhere. He's like, you know what? We don't have enough people. I can make a few more. I think that's what Mayborn did.
Start a cult somewhere.
Didn't he already start a cult?
Yeah.
Well, he was king, wasn't he? That was quite a cult, but yeah, he that man looks like somebody that is only one bad decision away from starting a cult.
Ooh, Arnold just said he's traveling with the Lucian Alliance in the chat. That would be interesting. Give them a little Tari knowledge. Ooh,
well, I mean, he was in bed with the NID, so Lucian Alliance isn't that far of a stretch, to be honest.
It's really not.
No, I think that makes 100%. And then we were talking about with the Lucian Alliance, is the Gold really behind the Lucian Alliance? We said that kind of makes sense. Maybe Mayborn is actually behind the Lucian Alliance. That makes sense as well.
Well, you know, maybe Mayborn's middle name is Lucius.
Oh, that's where they got it from.
Oh my God!
Head blown.
Yeah, Sam Carter's just going through some old mission briefings, reading the notes, and he goes, "Hang on, Harry Lucius, the Lucian Alliance."
Damn it! Damn it, Mayborn! What was the line she said to him?
You're an idiot every damn day of the week.
Yeah. And then it's like, the joke's on you, Sam. I have an alliance. I have my very own alliance. On Earth, then, with the the different things going on Earth, we've got Gold on Earth, we've got the NIA, we've got the IOA, sorry, we've got all these different things going on. And obviously, I mean, Brad Wright was very clever that he showed that humanity has a dark side. Yes, the SGC tried to do the good things, but the ID and things tried to do, and the tried to do naughty things. Would whoever's in charge, or whether the Tauri be a positive or a negative influence in the galaxy, basically just depend on which president's in at the time.
Yeah. That's what I was saying before. The political climate was probably shifted at some point, and
if it has,
whatever the honcho wants is what's going to happen. Is
it a U.S. president still doing it, or is it more like UN based, or are we doing some secret world government or something? Or like,
if it's a coalition of governments, that's worse than just one person in charge, because you've got a lot of infighting there, and there's going to be a president of the like United Nations kind of thing, isn't there? There's going to be like one guy who
and it's
going to be like a democracy in some sort of way, but
there's going
to be one very vocal guy. There's going to be like a Vladimir Putin sat there, and he's going to be like, well, if you don't agree with me, I'm not going to give you oil.
Yeah.
And
the UN is basically a sock puppet for the United States, isn't it? The United States is supposed to have one hand right up the ass of the UN going, oh yeah, let's be peaceful. And it's completely, the UN is virtually redundant. So if it is that, but at the end of the day, the Americans have got the Stargate, so that puts them in charge anyway, doesn't it? I mean, you guys are Americans. You know better than we do how the American political system works.
Yeah, we ain't giving that thing up, but we would probably be willing to talk to people. That might be, but we're going to have control over the Stargate. That's for damn sure. But
the only reason we're talking to people, see what kind of shit they got that we can take.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, ooh, yeah, lithium. They've got lithium. Oh, they're terrorists. Fuckers are all terrorists. And they're holding their lithium over our heads. We're going to attack with lithium.
All those people at oil, they're not personally, we like them, but you lithium guys.
If we were going to have colonies on other planets, it could be different countries wanting to expand out so they could start their own program on different planets.
And that's a good way to do that.
The Russians no longer have a gate because we rented it from them, but we're not going to give it back. Like, obviously, it's like, it's ours now.
Yeah.
What if they're just like, well, you're not going to give this back realistically? How about we just go to another planet? We set up a colony. Then we can go do whatever we want. We still decide, it's just we now have our own gate. Like that makes so much sense.
And we were talking about international versions of the show a couple of months back. Perfect, like here you go. Here's a planet that's very Russia-like. Send the Russians here. This is a planet that's very Nigeria-like. Send somebody there. This is one very India-like. Send them there. So on and so forth, kind of deal. This one's very much like Canada.
The Canadian program would be very polite. The British program would be very polite, but we'll still take your stuff. And then we just get drunk. We go on holiday to other people's programs to get drunk and stuff.
The British version would just be full of museums, full of all the technology that we've just stolen off everyone.
Here's something that the Russians could do. They could go, well, we want our own planet. Okay, sure, fine. They have their own gate. They find another planet with another gate, and then they use that gate to dial into Earth 24/7 to keep our gate blocked. That's what the Russians would do. Then seal Earth off forever from everybody else.
And then sell us gas.
Which
is what they always do.
Space gas.
Now they'd probably find all the naquadah and start selling us naquadah. And then say, I goes, oh no, we're not going to turn off the naquadah. Oh, there's been a terrorist thing, and then all the naquadah's been turned off. That's what they did with the gas. Damn them. Right, so
the naquadah has been turned off.
Yeah, we just turned the naquadah off.
The physical rock is just gone.
Or you could really screw them over and turn it into a quadria and just let the planet go the wayside, over a little bit of time.
Exactly. Or they're just supercharging planets just to fuck with people.
Because,
sticking a rod in the ground and sticking a ZPM next to it is going. We'll leave that for a couple of minutes and see what happens.
Yeah. The quadria is just diesel.
Yeah. We think it's brilliant for 5 minutes until you find out that Volkswagen have been lying about how it works. And never mind. Right, so let's bring it all to a conclusion because we've run over already, and we haven't even given Stormy chance to waffle, about what he's. When I say I want to go. And then he'll come in with something fascinating at the end to ruin us for 5-10 minutes. It's always that fascinating thing at the end. Git.
Yeah.
He's thinking.
Fascinating. It's never boring.
Too many shower thoughts.
Yeah. But
you should stop taking showers, Stormy.
I can't do that to humanity, man. You don't want that.
He's in New Mexico. You don't want anybody in New Mexico not taking showers.
All the radioactive dust. Do you ever have what you think is a brilliant idea at night? When you can't sleep, oh my God, that's the best idea ever. I must remember this idea. And then the next morning you go, the idea was stupid. That's the stupidest thing. Or that idea that I thought was brilliant last night when I was half asleep was actually just the plot from 2001: A Space Odyssey. What is wrong with you, brain?
There's a psychological reason for that I read about. And your brain basically just agrees with everything you're thinking, so you can shut up and go to sleep.
Right, okay. So, is this a good idea? Yes, it is. Go to sleep. That's
yeah.
Actually, so I have basically my wife in my head because that's what she does as well. Yes, that's a good idea. Shut up and go to sleep. That's exactly.
Yeah, and then when your brain's actually rested in the morning, it goes, that was shit.
Yeah, really, you moron. And my wife does that as well. So my subconscious is named K. Right. Sarah, don't say things like that. It just gets him going. It just gets him going. And also don't say you're right, Stormy, because that just
that's just egging me on, bro. That's just egging me on.
That's an interesting idea, Stormy. Yeah, always goes wrong. But anyway, how do we bring this together? What are the relationships like in the galaxy then? Are we all going to be like the UN or Rosie, or are there going to be conflicts, or are there going to be whatever? What do you think?
There's always going to be conflict. Always. The Milky Way is so big that even if the powers that we know about are all happy and sitting in a tree, like singing Kumbaya, there's going to be someone else coming up just to be like, hey, screw you guys.
I wouldn't mind whatever we pick up in. We come back in a part of time where there are conflicts everywhere. Small conflicts within the Toker the Gould, the Lucian Alliance, us, the Jaffa, the Lucian Alliance, these, this, there, da 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 da. Bringing in some Pegasus people, maybe all that kind of stuff. And maybe that's what if we get a series, or maybe the movie might be setting something up like that. Whatever order they want to go, it'd be nice for that series maybe to end with all these small conflicts coming together to a head, and then setting us up for what we want to see like way in the future. That way we get what we need to get coming back to the series after being gone for so long. There is something like, okay, like we're at a boiling point is where we're starting off. It's interesting immediately. It's jumping onto things, and then it has that that fuse to kind of wait till that dynamite explodes. My metaphors make sense.
Stop listening. Go on. No, I didn't. No, yeah, 100%. Yeah. Go on, Story. What do you think, man?
Well, I think it has to be a little bit mix of, exploration, discovery, wonder, and conflict. Because that's worked so well, for the franchise so far. I think, it's, and that's a very human kind of story. I mean, most of our best stories are always something like that, And Hundi Tiem said the UN will be required in the galaxy. I'm wondering if that's the IOA. Will because it's the UN's a puppet of the United States, as you said. I'm wondering if the IOA, which is much more or less a puppet of the United States, I'm wondering if they would take on that role galactically.
They'll definitely be in the conversation, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would have to be. I mean, they've been in on it since almost the beginning, and they've actually, the IOA has been in control of. Well, I guess that was they were controlling at the very end, not Destiny, but Atlantis. No one's in control of Destiny, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Well, you do have there is that IOA person on Destiny. What's her name? The one that was in Star Wars.
Camille Ray.
Camille, yeah. And she was always trying to take over.
Ming Na Wen. There we go.
Yeah. Her.
Cool.
So yeah, they've got their fingers in a lot of pies. I think they're definitely going to be.
But I think we shouldn't discount, the IOA and especially the NID and the Trust. Again, we have all these other cultures in the Milky Way. Who's to say that they have not already discovered some of these other cultures that exist and are doing their best to subvert them for their own power and trying to control them before Earth can really have at it? Or what if they're working in opposition to Earth's special interest already? I mean, the NID and the Trust we've shown, or the series has shown that they'll do anything, and they have no scruples whatsoever. And what if we're already in a Cold War, Earth versus some other culture that we don't even know about?
With President Kingsley, that's in the head of it all. Senator Kinsey at the head of it all, just messing everything up for everybody.
Yeah.
Boom. Sorry, I'm a yawn there. I have a bit of a long weekend. Have we covered it? We good? Happy? I think we pretty much described what the universe looks like. If Amazon are listening, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Very welcome.
If anybody sat in Amazon going, how should we do this? I'm just like, we've explained it several times. Really, it's not complicated.
Start out with Daniel Jackson's original lecture.
I will take, if you use any of my ideas, I'll take a 5% cut. I think that's fair.
I'll take a 1%.
Yeah, I'll take a 3.5%.
Yeah,
I'll take a 0.1% and a credit, a writing credit. That'd be cool.
I do want an executive producer role, whatever new project comes on. Scitrek should take, I think, 18.2% of the credit when Stargate comes back. Sorry.
If y'all need line producers, we will be there every day and helping y'all. Just saying. Yeah, we got you.
So and I'm just saying that Amazon can thank us. You're welcome, Amazon.
You're welcome.
We've been doing all the work for you. We've been advertising it like crazy. But guys, thank you so much. While we're on, Anybody watched anything good? We'll end the videos we normally do with chatting about Scitrek Productions Inc.
Let's see. I finished up The Walking Dead. I finally watched the last episode of The Walking Dead, and I did not understand the last 5 minutes. Matt, I don't know if you've seen the last episode or.
No, I'm only on season 9.
I mean, it was just like it came out of nowhere, and then it did some things and said some stuff, and it was a lot of it was new footage. It's like, what were they possibly setting up? I mean, so if anyone in chat knows what that was about.
Well, they're setting up Dead City, the 3 movies, and then Daryl Dixon too, right? I haven't seen it. I'm just.
I mean, I haven't seen those, maybe, but there were some confusing parts. I don't want to do spoilerization here, but it was just maybe I missed something, but I just didn't get the last 5 minutes. It was wonderful to see, but anyway, you got lost to watch.
It's all a dream.
Yeah, so now I'm about 3
to watch that series. I just think zombies are the most useless monster story, because I mean, give me a rifle and enough ammunition and I will sort the zombie problem out pretty quickly.
Yeah, but it's not that. So a singular zombie is not a problem. A horde of zombies very much is. And
That's why I said
after civilization falls, there's only so many bullets left.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? You got to and you don't know how many people have been infected by the time there's a problem. I suppose it's just I don't know. I just seems boring to me. I've never got into it.
Everyone is infected.
Everyone's infected
becomes a zombie.
Yeah, when you die, you become one. That's part of the.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody has the virus.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
That's just like shit. Is that the big reveal at some point through the series? Then that they realise that.
I think it's early on. Maybe first season, they make it to the CDC in Atlanta, Georgia, where they keep all the bugs, and that was what the last remaining survivor of the CDC whispered into Rick Grimes' ear. Said, we all have it.
No, because they didn't find that out till Shane passed in season 2 in the penultimate episode.
Yeah, but that was confirmation. Is when he told Rick that everybody has it.
I thought he said there was a way to stop it.
The CDC guy whispered it in Rick's ear. We didn't know what he'd said until Shane died
later.
And then turned into a zombie.
Okay.
Because he was never bitten, but he died, and then he turned, and then it was like a flashback kind of thing.
And also Rick and Shane, they're at this gate someplace to this other facility, and they said, I don't see any bite marks on them. And that was the first time it was questioned. I think that was pre-CDC, maybe, or maybe Rick knew about it and just didn't say anything. I'm not sure.
And I suppose people aren't dying. Many people are dying of natural causes by that point, so you wouldn't realize straight away.
Yeah.
Well, there's loads of people that have obviously seen the world is ending, and they've hung themselves on trees and stuff, and they've just turned into zombies, and they're just there
yeah.
I've just been there for years.
Old folks' homes just turn.
Yeah.
Or like maternity wards where the woman is giving birth to a dead baby. The dead baby starts eating its way out. Although there's no teeth, unless he's got one.
Did they show that sometime?
Well, that was the worry when Judith was born. What if she's born stillborn?
That's right. Okay.
Christ.
Yeah. The first 2 seasons are excellent. Really good first season, but I will fight for The Walking Dead season 1 over The Last of Us season 1 any day of the week.
And so now I'm season 5 or 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. Then I'm going to move on to Dead City and Daryl Dixon, but there's only one more season left of Fear the Walking Dead.
I'm not watching it. I don't like it. I watched the first season, got bored.
Me too.
But I did enjoy the first episode of Monarch. I'm going to watch the second episode in the morning. It was very good. I enjoyed it. And Apple have done it again. And I don't know what the budget is for Monarch. I'm meant to look it up.
$13 million per episode, and the entire budget for Godzilla -1 is $15 million.
Wow. $13 million. But you can see that I did wonder if they might have spent a bit of money on that episode. That's it. But also paying for Kurt Russell and stuff. Expensive.
Well, I might have to devil's advocate you just a little bit. That first episode was boring as hell and could have been done in about 5.5 to 7 minutes of screen time. And I think the second episode has really picked up a lot.
They're setting up a lot in the first episode.
It was a lot of good setup, but
there's a lot to set up. In their defense, if you're writing a, we get moaned at on this channel sometimes. We go, "Oh, you're repeating yourself again. You're repeating yourself again." I'm like, "Yes, because one, I have to consider the stupid." I'm joking, but no, you have to sometimes. Right, the thing is, I do have to be repetitive sometimes because also I have to have in mind somebody might not have ever seen a Scitrek video before, so I have to tell a story. It has to be a story. TV shows similar. They have to. It has to be done in a structured way, and also if you start steady and build up, or people moan, or people the other moan is that it's like well, that was my argument with Gen V, that series, or Gen Z, whatever the fuck it's called. It started up here, and then I was bored in the second episode, and I'm like, set things up. There's a structure to these things; they need to work. But I like the first episode. I will watch the second episode tomorrow, and if it's even better than the first, happy days.
Oh, way better. Way better. There's still plenty of setup, but there's things happening at the same time, which is nice.
What is this Scitrek you speak of?
What is it?
I don't know. I if you can tell me, I'd love to know. If you can, answers on a postcard to sci.trek1@gmail.com. How about you? How's what you've been watching, mate? How much have you been to the cinema and not done any actual proper work? Hippie.
A few times. Let me think about what I saw. I went to go see Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes on Thursday, and it was I didn't have the highest expectations in the world, and I came out really enjoying it. I like that all three acts are very much their own stories, and they make it kind of like part 1, part 2, part 3. All that pops up on the screen, so it's like different things. But it's nice where they all coincide with one another, but each one is their own story. Just to get the elephant out of the room, yes, the first time Rachel Zegler starts singing, my head went, oh. But it fits narratively. And the second and third songs that happen in the film that also fit narratively are really good. The first one, but after that,
Ouch!
Secular Monk likes our channel very much.
I don't think so.
You hear it all the time. What do you mean?
I think Secular Monk wants to get banned from our channel.
Well, good luck with that. I've been trying to get banned forever, but it just hasn't worked out.
I keep trying to ban everybody, but
I went to go see Wish yesterday, the new Disney movie, and it's the epitome of a Disney movie. It's not all that great, and it's not bad. It's just kind of it's pretty damn decent. And it literally, well, I mean, actually, they're doing pretty well, but I agree. This will be the last movie that does well, I think, if she keeps up what she's keeping up. But Wish was good. It literally ended with like a Disney 100 advertisement. Like that's literally the last scene of the movie. It's sorry to give it away. It doesn't really give anything away, but it's like, woo! Like it's very Disney at the end. That being said, first 2 episodes of Monarch. Because of Marvel's last week, I went to watch Miss Marvel with my neighbor this week, and it was fun. It was decent.
It's a lot better than people have been saying.
A lot. Iman Vellani's nice. I didn't love the first or the last episode, but the rest of it, just I could listen to her talk about superheroes for 50 episodes of anything. But I watched Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix this week. I finished it. I started it last week, finished it. Maybe one of my favorite things I've watched in years. Loved it. If you like samurai anything, even I know you're not a big anime person, Jamie, but you should do it.
I like anime when it's good, but I'm one of those people that I like animation when it's good. But when it's
I like anything when it's good.
Good. That's the way to think about it. But y'all would all like Blue Eye Samurai. It was boring? And you like the first episode of Monarch?
It's all thing. Animation, I mean, it can be difficult sometimes because it can be when it's done, it can be quite slow sometimes, just because of like the the realities of making anything animated is that it's horrendously expensive and quite difficult. So sometimes it can be a bit. Then the dialogue can be quite slow in some, particularly in anime as well. So, like I say, when it's not really fun, the debate was not rigged. Harris just wasn't quick enough to get in. It was not rigged. But the next argument, you can argue against somebody else, and you just need to be a little bit more forceful with your opinion. Okay?
You're American. You know how to do that shit.
You have to talk over people and be arrogant and like.
Okay, Ghost in the Shell. I love Ghost in the Shell.
Oh,
That was really good.
Which is why it's been remade a million times since.
Yeah, the original was really good.
Yeah, anything good is then remade a million times.
First episode is a tad slow, but there's enough badassery to keep it going. I think all three of you would adore Blue Eye Samurai. But like Ruben just said in the chat, if you're going to watch something animated, it needs to be Scavenger's Reign if it's available. If not, find that VPN. Do it. Do it.
My internet provider blocks me if I try to use a VPN. Bastard. How about you, Matt, before we say goodnight? Seen anything good? And excited about anything coming up?
Not watched anything, but I did watch that Children in Need special for Doctor Who. It came out, Destination Scarrow. It was very good. Very
Charity
good
night that we have on the BBC that was on Friday. Is that right? So they've done a little.
I didn't even know Children in Need had happened. I honestly had no idea it had happened. And then I saw this clip here on YouTube yesterday. Yeah, it was brilliant. Brilliant. It's got 1 million views already. Like it's good. Doctor Who is like it's coming back next Saturday. So
it's next week, isn't it? And then we got the Christmas special, and then it's into the new Doctor, isn't it? Right? The Christmas special will be where we see the new Doctor.
I don't think they're doing a Christmas special.
I think they are.
I saw something about it. This Christmas special is coming back, so I'm guessing it's this Christmas as opposed to Christmas 2024.
I know of the three anniversary specials. There was a rumor for Christmas specials, definitely, because I made a video on it last year. Because we assumed it was going to happen last year, and then it didn't. But I don't know if there is. Happy days. That's 4 episodes this year. So
I don't think it's a problem that I hold a poll open until I win. And held that way. I mean, that's what Trump wanted to do. So,
so you are the Fox News of sci-fi.
Oh,
turn it back around.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be a Christmas special.
Hey, I should say everybody should go to Mash Channel and watch
Christmas special for Doctor Who confirmed. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I did totally forget. I went to go see Thanksgiving, the movie Thanksgiving. The first 15-20 minutes, I were fun, but were not tonally consistent. And then the slasher does his first slash and kill, and the rest of the movie's so much fun. It's so much fun. It's bombast. It's gory. It's great.
I'm not a big fan of a slasher movie, but when a slasher movie's done well, they are a lot of fun.
It's the guy that directed it and wrote it is Eli Roth. Do you know him? Did you watch him?
Oh my God, Eli, yeah,
Bear Jew, that guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But the other thing, I knew I was forgetting 2 things. There was that, and then I finally finished Tulsa King. I watched it all in a week.
God, I love the Tulsa King so much.
It was great.
I really love the Tulsa King. It's my favorite. It might be one of the favorite things I've watched all year.
It's so good.
Except I binged What They Do in the Shadows season 5 because it's finally appeared on Disney Plus over here in the UK. And
so you finished season 5 already?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Good.
No messing around. It is. I'm trying to get my kids to watch it. It's just the best show. Always keep your eye on the background, kids. Like trying to teach them how to watch it. Must keep an eye on the background. It's just the best. I binged it. I got nothing on Wednesday. My computer packed in. It stopped charging. The battery died. And I'm there like on the phone to my boss going, yeah, my computer's packed in and there's nothing I can do as I'm pressing play. There's nothing I can do. Bye. What They Do in the Shadows. Boom.
the things you got to do to watch Guillermo be turned into what his bloodline doesn't want him to be done. Turned into.
It's the best show. It might be my favorite show. I think I might just start again. Watch it all again.
Watch the movie, and then it's not as
yes.
funny, but Wellington Paranormal is like their cheeky New Zealand, like cheap version of it, and it is fun. But you get what I was saying last week, how it kind of turns the comedy on the head a little bit and gets a little more serious at the end of season 5.
Just darker,
which was kind of cool though, because it's still funny, but it was like dark humor versus just like silly.
It's just my favorite show. Yeah, I'm trying to get my kids to watch it. I know my one lad will love it. It's just his sort of sense of humor. I've got him watching Boston Legal. He thinks Boston Legal is just the best show that's ever. He thinks it's brilliant. I got him to watch Castle, then I watched Boston Legal. I tried to get him to watch Firefly, and he watched it, but he didn't quite get it. So I think he might not actually be my son.
Probably not.
Genetically.
I have questions. Yeah.
He actually.
Well, I'll send you a catheter and a DNA test for Christmas.
Yeah, I might need it. I need to have a word with him. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Next week, I had an idea for a video and I forgot what it was, but we are going to do another debate video very soon where we're going to.
Good.
And I think the next debate will be Star Wars, the most overrated franchise ever. Discuss. Who wants?
And then Star Trek the next week.
No, we're not doing Star Trek the next week because Star Trek is the second greatest franchise in history.
This show is rigged.
We could do Star Wars versus Star Trek, which is the age-old debate. I mean, we've been having the debate of like, I don't know.
Would that just be like an enjoyability debate instead of like the sci-fi debate aspect?
No, it would be however you want to frame it. But yeah, you can't do it the sci-fi because as Star Wars fans always cop out, it's not science fiction. It's fantasy.
No, it's not. It was never meant to be.
So don't set it in space on spaceships then.
Why not? Gatekeeping.
Star
Trek people gatekeeping.
Speaking of spaceships, everybody should go watch Matt's video on Destiny. He came out of it was really good. I liked it. Matt, cheers. It was really, really good.
Go show it some love, Citrekers, damn it.
Yeah, go watch that.
Shared on the community page.
It's doing quite well, to be honest. I had to upload it yesterday. It was the best performing video I had ever had, and then I had to delete it and re-upload it, and I was panicking all weekend. But it's literally within the last 2 hours, it's picking up. So I'm quite happy.
Yeah, you should go watch it. Harris, did you put it out anything this week on M3 Cube Music, whatever the hell it was?
Yeah. We did a Cinema Scoop, and then we did Saturday last week, not yesterday. And then Schmook's done a couple things. Schmook did it on Mondays. We always do comic adaptations weekly, so we were talking Marvels, Loki, Invincible.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And Invincible season 3 or season 2, episode 3, whatever the hell it is. Watch that.
Is this under your live tab? Maybe I missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Live tab's most active.
There it is. Adam and Web trailer, good or no? Okay.
Yeah. And then watch Wednesday's live because I was fascinating in it. And at no point do I randomly rant for ages and then forget what I was saying halfway through. At no point does that happen.
Does it end up being entertaining one way or another?
Oh, yeah, because we then have a long conversation about where I think I might have been going with it.
Wednesday was the one that was was it just shy or just above 2 hours, right? It was a long one.
2 hours.
Yeah, it was a long one.
I said, we're not going past 2 hours. And then 20 minutes later, we're not going past 2.5 hours.
At 45 minutes, we kind of looked at the clock and we're like, oh, wait, maybe we should talk about what we came to talk about. That's right, because we didn't want to talk about any of the trailers. We were ranting about. What were we?
I can't even remember, but we got to the last 5 minutes because can we? And you were just like, I've really spent quite a lot of time planning this episode. Can we talk about half of it, please?
We just sped. We said we're going to speed
I'm
Oh,
run.
Have to go in 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're all going in about
20 minutes later.
But yeah, it was. We just kept ranting, and it was a fun video. We did.
It was
so yeah, guys. all the links for all the videos are in the description, and all the different channels. Go and check out Stormy's channel. It's phenomenal, and he does all these live, old radio chats and things. Harris does, they're fine, and Matt does some brilliant videos that are Stargate related. That
Yeah.
aren't
You got to check out my stuff.
Not necessarily all Stargate. No, it's my channel is just anything I'm interested in. So,
Which is Stargate.
And at the moment,
Stargate,
it's
Doctor
just
Who?
Stargate, yeah.
Walking Dead, the trifecta.
Some
I might
of those
be Walking Dead, who knows?
were
It's just
out
what I'm
there.
interested in at the time.
I did find an old Vincent Price interview that I've got up, and it really explains
Oh, cool.
why radio dramas are really so good. And he was like, it's just, you go watch it. It's really informative old interview of his.
Yep. Just 100% that there is a company in Australia that are desperately trying to do a new Farscape, and Jim Henson Productions is trying to do it. The problem is they can't figure out who actually owns the IP. And I'm not joking.
Really?
There's basically a defunct company that own a big chunk of the IP, and they just can't. But Jim Henson, Brian Henson, basically, they're just trying to get money for it. But there's been a bit of an argument. It might end up in court. Who actually owns the IP? But then it's just funding it. They're just trying to get money. But they have been trying for the last 2 or 3 years to bring Farscape back. So
I love Farscape. Love the shit out of it. Great show.
Yeah.
Arnold, I play DayZ. I've been playing DayZ every day for the last 12 months. I have 2 servers on PS4 that I own.
Oh my god!
If you're in the Scitrek Discord, I'll link you to it. If you play PS4.
Cool.
He literally just said should add a game section to Discord as you said that.
Yeah, I kind of miss the Minecraft server, man. Maybe I was the only person in there, but I love the shit out of it.
You were the only person in it. That's why I shut it down.
I had so much shit going on, man. It was just insane. I had Zombie Ranch, and it was just cool as shit. Oh well.
Before we head off, guys, I give a little bit of our monthly anything we generate on YouTube to charity. This month we're giving it to a kids charity that basically buys presents for kids in hospital and stuff. So
cool.
That's where that's going. But in December, I give all of the money we make to charity. So I would really love you guys to let me know if there's any charities that are particularly close to your heart, anything that you think really desperately needs help at the moment, anything that you can DM me over at Facebook with any suggestions, put it on the community page, whatever you want to do. I would love to get some ideas. I would like it to go somewhere that means something to the community, if that makes sense. So I know Kerry's got one that I've got to give money to as well this month, but that's fine. But anything, please just let me know, and we'll look at that. But yeah, it's not the December money, so it's January. You're not having the December money. That pays for Christmas presents. All of the money we generate in January goes to charity, so I just need to know which one we want to donate to.
Start the year off right.
Damn right. I'm thinking then all the things that I do that are evil basically get balanced out a little bit.
In January.
Yeah, when I'm at the pearly gates, I'm going, whoa, January. But you murdered 12 people. January. I gave money to charity. I gave money to the NSPCC.
Have you murdered these 12 people yet?
Yeah.
Oh, are these future murders? Are we talking about a Minority Report here, or do we need to review Minority Report?
I need to go. My dinner's ready. My missus is being.
Bye, Matt. And we're going to say goodbye anyway. But bye, Matt.
Bye, Matt.
Bye.
And any this Jay's trip to Comic-Con, that's happening anyway. Whether my wife likes it or not. I mentioned this to my wife last week that I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con next year, and she actually said, as long as she's not going to Vegas. And I'm like, oh, but me and Harris really wants to go to Vegas.
It's only 6 hours from San Diego.
I know.
It's only 4 hours from where I live.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got to go there because I've got to see Stormy. So, and depending on where you leave in California to go to Stormy, you have to go through Vegas. So it's not my fault.
And it's easier to go to El Paso, Texas to see me than to go to Los Angeles and then drive to Vegas and just yeah.
But you don't need to be in El Paso. I'm a Texan, and he don't need to be in El Paso.
No, shut up.
Is it not good food?
Don't ruin this for me. If my wife suddenly comes up with the idea that I don't actually have to go to Vegas, I'm going to kill you, Stormy. I want to go.
Oh, I see.
Fly into Vegas, and I will have been there for a few days by that time, and then I'll find a way to wander to the airport to get you.
I do not want the first time we meet to be after you've spent 2 or 3 days in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
I think you come and meet me after I've been in Vegas for 2 or 3 days. I've got so that my chemical blood can try to get up to something like that you're used to.
Yeah,
my 10 months, man. It's a tragedy.
But guys, thank you so much as always. We're absolute legends. And this is one of the best videos we've done in ages. Thank you. And this is we're pushing 2 hours, which we haven't done in ages because normally I stop Stormy.
Yeah. See what that got you?
Yeah. But brilliant. We don't know what to do next week, but we'll figure it out. So yeah, say bye everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Oh wait, I didn't get to the brand thing on the fucking page, and I never do. Right?
You never get to the brand.
There we go. Found it.
Oh, yeah.